Amy Winehouse's father Mitch has addressed the late singer's relationship with female ex-lover Catriona Gourlay. Mitch, 70, and ex-wife Janice, 66, reflected on their late daughter's life as well as her stint in rehab with BBC News on Friday, ahead of the release of documentary Reclaiming Amy next week. Catriona recently claimed the star struggled with her sexuality, and in response Mitch said, "Catriona and Amy, they were sisters. They were more than best friends. And if they had that kind of relationship, good luck to them. I have no objections, I just wanted Amy to be happy, and I know she was always happy with Cat in whatever way. So that's great." He added that he couldn't really comment on Amy's sex life in more detail as he was not aware of it. Going on to talk about Amy's rehab stints for substance abuse, Mitch said of the time, "No one knew what to do. Because obviously the responsibility of the addiction lies with the person who's struggling with the addiction. As a family we could stand on our heads. How many times we had family interventions, I lost count. How many times I took her into rehabs, and she'd walk out the next day. It's very difficult. I don't think mistakes are the right word, because there is no right or wrong way to deal with it." Amy's mother Janice added, "We didn't know what to do. It's down to the individual who's going through it, because they're the only ones who could help themselves." Discussing their reasoning for making the documentary to mark 10 years since her tragic passing, Mitch went on, "We wanted for people to get a different view of her, to understand she was a loving, kind and very generous person. You can't airbrush all the horrible stuff out. We wouldn't do that. But we wanted to emphasize what she was really like. Even through the times she was seriously ill, what got her through it and what got us through it was our sense of humor." Mitch and Janice also discussed how Amy's family and friends will mark her passing by visiting her grave in Edgwareberry Lane Cemetery, with Mitch saying, "Next week on the 23rd, we're all together at the cemetery. The first 10 minutes will be sobbing and after that we'll be in fits of laughter with a new Amy anecdote." Throwback, unseen snaps of Amy as a child and with her mother Janice were revealed on Thursday ahead of the upcoming documentary Reclaiming Amy about her life, and Janice added, "My joke is now I know where she is. That's the main thing. Although it's not a joyful thing that we would celebrate it, we actually go and remember her. It's just nice to be there." On Thursday, Amy's ex-lover Catriona, who was one of the singer's closest friends, claimed Amy struggled with her sexuality. Catriona said the pair had an undefined relationship where they loved each other, but it left the star feeling confused. Beauty. The new intimate snaps also feature several when she was just a teenager, as she poses at parties and on family holidays. In another Polaroid image, a fresh face Amy cuddled up to her mum, now 66, as they both posed for the camera. She made the confession on the BBC Two documentary Reclaiming Amy, which will air next week to mark 10 years since the singer's death. "When I was 19-20, I'd already been in a long-term relationship with a girl at his point, so I knew who I was," Catriona said, according to Metro. She, Amy, used to write notes while I was sleeping, "You were the most beautiful girl I've ever seen, and how can you look as beautiful asleep as you do awake? Our relationship was so unique, undefined, we just loved each other very much, and what I took from it, knowing her, is that she was confused about what it made her. she continued, "When you have something that is so undefined for years, it's hard because it's the thing that I think is so fundamental in understanding her and the things that did trouble her." Catriona also recalled that Amy once joked in an interview, "I am not a lesbian until I've had 4 sambucas." She added, "Perhaps people don't realize that there were other relationships in her life where someone really did love her and care about her and would have done anything in her power to make her happy." Amy's most high-profile relationship was with Blake Fielder Civil. Troubled Amy married on-off boyfriend Blake in May 2007. However, their turbulent relationship soon spiraled out of control, and in August of that year the pair were photographed, bloodied and bruised, in the streets of London after an alleged fight. Amy divorced former video production assistant Blake, who has since confessed he introduced the star to heroin, in August 2009. In July 2011, Amy passed away following a vodka binge alone in her bedroom, where she was found by her security guard. Despite years of drug abuse, she was clean at the time of her death. The singer's life and struggles will be examined in the BBC Two documentary Reclaiming Amy. In the film, the star's mother Janice will tell the story of one of the UK's greatest musical icons through new parts of her life that the public have never heard about. Janice said, "I don't feel the world knew the true Amy, the one that I brought up, and am looking forward to the opportunity to offer an understanding of her roots and a deeper insight into the real Amy." She says in the documentary, "You think you know my daughter. The drugs, the drink, the addiction, the destructive relationships. But there was so much more." Amy's parents Janice and Mitch set up the Amy Winehouse Foundation following her death. They created the charity in honor of the late singer on what would have been her 28th birthday on September 14, 2011. Amy soared to fame upon the release of Frank in 2003, as she gained both critical and commercial success with the debut as her jazz-inspired vocals won fans all over before her second album Back to Black's introduction 3 years later. In a heartbreaking turn of fate, the London-born icon's dazzling career was blighted by her demons after she fell into the clutches of drink and drug addiction. As she ascended higher on the fame ladder, she discovered her demons, in drink, drugs and also eating disorders, which her brother Alex insists contributed to her death. In 2011, an inquest gave a verdict of misadventure after finding that she had 416 milligrams of alcohol per deciliter in her blood. A second inquest in 2013 confirmed that she died of accidental alcohol poisoning. This is more than 5 times the legal drink-drive limit and enough to cause her to become comatose and depress her respiratory system. Reclaiming Amy airs on BBC Two at 9 p.m. on Friday 23 July. For confidential help and support, call Samaritans for free on 116 123 or visit www.samaritans.org.